Your 20s are basically a financial choose your own adventure book, except most people are picking all the wrong pages. Right now, someone your age is financing a $40,000 truck they can't afford. Meanwhile, someone else just made a purchase that's going to make them a millionaire by 35. And here's the wild part. That wealth building purchase probably cost less than a week's worth of DoorDash orders. Stick with me because I'm about to show you 7 purchases that sound boring, but will completely change your bank account by the time you hit 30. And the last one, it's the most important decision you'll make this decade. My name is Max, and I've spent way too much time figuring out why some people in their 20s escape the financial hamster wheel while everyone else just runs faster, going nowhere. Quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm just sharing what I've learned from watching people succeed and fail with money. Here's what you need to understand. Most people think their 20s are for spending and their 30s are for getting serious. That's like saying you'll start practicing basketball the day before the championship. The purchases you make right now are setting up your entire financial future. If you're tired of watching your friends pretend they're successful while drowning in debt, hit that subscribe button because we're about to flip the script on everything you think you know about money. Purchase number 1. Buy unfashionable clothes that last forever. I know that sounds boring, but here's something that might blow your mind. The average person spends $1,800 a year on clothes. Over 10 years, that's $18,000. Most of those clothes end up donated after 2 years because they fell apart or went out of style. Instead, spend maybe $3,000 up front on high quality, timeless basics. Good jeans, solid t shirts, a couple jackets, boring stuff that doesn't fall apart after 10 washes. This stuff lasts 5 to 10 years. You just saved $15,000, but it gets better. That $15,000 invested at 8% returns becomes $33,000 by your mid 30s. You literally turned not buying trendy clothes into a down payment on a house. And honestly, nobody cares what you're wearing as much as you think they do. Buy from brands with lifetime warranties. Patagonia, Darn Tough Socks, Eddie Bauer. They replace or repair stuff for free. You buy clothes once and never think about it again. Purchase number 2 is buying equipment for a skill based side hustle, but only after you've tested the market first. This is where everyone screws up. They drop thousands on camera gear before they know if they like photography. They buy lawn care equipment before mowing a single lawn. Here's how smart people do it. Start with borrowed or rented equipment, get your first clients, prove the market wants what you're selling, then buy the pro gear with customer money. You're using other people's money to fund your equipment purchases. Real example. Someone I know wanted to start pressure washing. Instead of dropping $3,000 on equipment, he rented for $60, posted on Facebook offering to clean driveways for $100, got 5 customers in week 1. That's $500 revenue minus $60 rental equals $440 profit. He did this for a month, made $1,500, then bought his own equipment. Now here's where it gets interesting. He rents that equipment to other people on weekends. He's not using it. The equipment pays for itself. His side hustle generates cash, and his tools make money when he's not working. This is what rich people understand. Assets should make you money, not cost you money. Purchase number 3 sounds like a luxury, but it's actually one of the smartest career investments you can make. Buy access to rooms you can't normally get into. Conferences, masterminds, workshops where successful people in your industry hang out. These can cost $500 to $1,000 or more, but here's what nobody tells you. The real value isn't the content. You can find most of that online for free. The real value is being in the same room with people who are 5 to 10 years ahead of you. When you're in line for coffee next to someone who runs a $5 million business and you strike up a conversation, that's worth infinitely more than any presentation. I went to a marketing conference that cost $800. During lunch, I sat next to a guy looking for email marketing help. We talked for 20 minutes. That conversation turned into a $2,000 per month consultant gig for 8 months. That's $16,000 from an $800 investment and a 20-minute conversation. But it's not just about making money directly. Being around successful people rewires your brain about what's possible. When everyone around you works 9 to 5 and complains about money, you think that's normal. When you're in a room full of people building businesses, that becomes your new normal. Purchase number 4. Buy a duplex, house hack it, and let tenants pay your mortgage. No, you're thinking you can barely afford your phone bill. But here's what most people don't know. You can buy property with as little as 3.5% down on an FHA loan. A $200,000 duplex? That's $7,000 down. Yeah, that's still money, but it's not impossible if you're not bleeding cash on clothes and car payments. Here's the magic. You live in one unit, rent out the other. Your mortgage is $1,200 a month, but your tenant pays you $900. You're only paying $300 to live there. Meanwhile, your tenant is paying down your mortgage, the property is appreciating, and you're getting tax deductions. 3 different money machines running simultaneously. After a year, rent out your unit too, move into another property, repeat. This is called the BRRRR method. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. This is how regular people in their 20s build serious wealth by their 30s. The biggest objection? I don't know how to be a landlord. Yeah, and you didn't know how to drive until you learned. Property management companies handle everything for a percentage of rent if you don't want to deal with it. Or you learn the basics, fix stuff when it breaks, find good tenants, collect rent. It's not rocket science. Purchase number 5 is controversial. Buy therapy or coaching even if you think you don't need it. Before you click away, hear me out. The average person spends $3,000 a year on streaming services, coffee, and subscriptions they barely use. But they won't spend $150 a month on therapy because they think it's only for people with serious problems. That's like only going to the gym after you're already out of shape. It doesn't make sense. Your brain is the engine that drives everything. Your ability to make money, build relationships, stay disciplined, all of that comes from your mental wiring. Most of us are walking around with bugs in our operating system we don't even know are there. I started therapy at 26. Within 6 months, I realized I was underselling my services because I believed asking for money made me greedy. Once I worked through that, my income doubled because I started charging what I was worth. That $600 a month spent on therapy paid for itself in the first month of increased earnings. The thing about therapy in your 20s specifically, you're catching these patterns early before they've had 20 or 30 years to screw up your life. Every year you wait, these patterns get more embedded. It's like pulling weeds when they're small versus removing them after they've taken over your garden. Purchase number 6. Buy professional development in boring, unsexy skills that everyone needs but nobody wants to learn. Excel mastery, public speaking, basic accounting, copywriting, sales training. Everyone wants to learn the flashy stuff. Crypto trading, app building, becoming an influencer. Almost nobody wants to learn killer spreadsheets or emails that get responses, which means if you learn these skills, you become instantly valuable because supply is low and demand is massive. I spent $300 on an advanced Excel course at 24. Sounds boring, right? 6 months later, I was in a meeting where someone mentioned spending 10 hours a week manually compiling data. I said I can automate that. Built them a simple macro system. They gave me a $5,000 raise on the spot. Started doing Excel consulting on the side for small businesses. $500 to build a custom system that saves them hours weekly. That $300 course has generated over $50,000 in direct income, plus the raise, plus the promotion. The beautiful thing about boring skills, they're transferable across industries. Copywriting works whether you're selling software or smoothies. Public speaking helps whether you're pitching investors or teaching. Sales applies to everything because we're all selling something, even if it's just our ideas. Most successful people aren't the smartest or most talented. They're successful because they have a combination of skills most people don't have. You don't need to be the world's best copywriter. You just need to be decent at copywriting and sales in Excel. That combination makes you incredibly rare and valuable. Purchase number 7 ties everything together. Buy your own financial education through real world experience, even if it costs you money. I'm not talking about taking a class or reading books. I'm talking about deliberately putting yourself in situations where you're forced to learn about money by actually using it. Most people either hoard every dollar because they're terrified or spend everything because they don't understand opportunity cost. Both leave you financially illiterate. The smart move is to intentionally allocate money for learning experiences, even if you lose it. Take $1,000 and open a brokerage account. Buy individual stocks. Yes, you'll probably lose money. Yes, it's riskier than index funds. But you'll learn more about investing in 3 months of having skin in the game than 3 years of reading books. Or take $500 and start a small online business. Buy products wholesale, sell them on Amazon. You'll probably lose money at first, but you'll learn inventory management, customer service, profit margins, cash flow, real business skills no college class teaches. Losing $500 learning these lessons at 25 is way better than losing $50,000 making the same mistakes at 45. When you buy financial education through experience, you develop instincts book knowledge can't give you. You learn to recognize good opportunities versus shiny distractions. You understand risk in your gut, not just theory, and you lose your fear of money, which is what holds most people back from building wealth. Your 20s are the cheapest time to fail. No dependents, low fixed costs, decades to recover. This is the time to experiment, screw up, learn, iterate. I invested $3,000 in a friend's startup at 27. The business failed after 8 months. I lost everything. But you know what I learned? How to evaluate business plans, ask tough questions before investing, recognize when someone's passionate versus prepared. That lesson saved me from at least 5 other bad investments that would have cost way more than $3,000. Here's what makes these 7 purchases powerful when combined. They build on each other. Unfashionable clothes free up money for side hustle equipment. The side hustle generates income for the duplex down payment. Therapy helps you overcome mental blocks. Boring professional skills make you valuable enough to earn more. Conferences connect you with people who accelerate progress. Financial education gives you confidence to make bigger moves. Most people treat purchases as isolated decisions. They buy a car without thinking how that payment prevents investing. They skip the conference to save money, not realizing one conversation could have changed their career. They avoid therapy while unresolved issues cost them hundreds of thousands in lost opportunities. Every dollar is a soldier in your financial army. You can deploy those soldiers to fight for you, buying assets, education, opportunities that generate returns, or waste them on things that drain resources with nothing to show for it. I know what you're thinking. But, Max, I don't have money for this. And I get it. But here's the brutal truth. If you're barely getting by in your 20s when you have the lowest expenses you'll probably ever have, you need to change something fundamentally. Start with one purchase, not all 7. That's overwhelming. Pick the one that makes sense now. If you're drowning in bad spending, start with clothes. Low risk builds discipline. If you're stable but stuck, invest in a conference or course. If you have savings, buy the duplex or start experimenting. Ask yourself, will this make me money, save me money, or make me more valuable? If no to all 3, don't buy it. If yes to any, figure out how to afford it. Remember at the beginning when I mentioned someone buying a $40,000 truck versus making a wealth building purchase, the difference isn't intelligence or luck. It's understanding that your 20s are when small, smart purchases create massive results. 10 years from now, you'll look back. You'll either think, I'm so glad I made those smart choices, or why didn't anyone tell me this has mattered? Well, I'm telling you right now, your 20s are going to pass whether you make smart moves or not. The only question is whether you'll spend your 30s wishing you could go back or enjoying the foundation you built. If this changed how you think about money, smash that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment. Which purchase are you making first? I read every comment. Now go make some smart purchases. Your future self will thank you.